Or when I accidentally made a penis. It made me happy.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Forum Thread Podcast number 105. It's gonna be a party tonight. I am Low Zelda, and joining me are Chaos Mana.
Hey.
Zap45.
Yo.
Ninja Spectre, returning guest.
Hello.
And Captain Birdman. It's been a while since you've been here.
Hello. Yeah, maybe. I think I've only been on once.
89?
Okay, well then it's definitely probably been a while. I was like, I don't
Yeah.
remember a time you've been on, but I know you have been.
I
Been
think
a
this
hot
is
minute.
my third one, so does this make me a regular now?
Yeah. Yeah. That's how this works.
Apparently,
Like,
yeah.
actually, that's how it works. We can put you into the timesheet and everything. It's great.
Oh gosh.
We'll send you a link. It's wonderful. Wonderful.
It's been a great
Shout out
third
to-
podcast so far, so...
Awesome. Good to hear.
Sweet. So let's go back to arguing about janky cameras on the N64,
Oh, yeah.
huh? So,
Yeah, okay. So, from my observations from Tejan Lee's stream, which was entertaining, and he got lucky a few times and made some awesome things happen.
I didn't think that was allowed on Twitch.
Yeah. Shut up. You know, gameplay-wise,
Oh, okay. You weren't
your
really
head out of the
specific, and, I mean,
get your head out of the gutter. Anyway, the
my head
camera
lives
is
in the gutter.
janky.
It has a permanent home in the gutter.
My
It's got a condo. It's great.
a summer home. Like,
Yeah.
It's Lil Link's house, and you just live in the gutter.
There. It's probably really appropriate.
oh god. Yeah, but it's like from my observations, the controls seem kind of like
The
jank.
controls are like
The camera's
very
janky. It's like the best-
janky.
It's the worst. Like I would hate to play that game. I would be so fucking frustrated.
I would
So-
like to reiterate on my comments of, like I said before, like it would like it. I have to give it some credit. It's the very first 3D Mario. It's going to have some bugs. It's going to have some really bad bugs. Oops, sorry about that.
Whoa.
The
You're
bug
the devil.
alert.
Time to turn off my phone. But yeah, it had some really bad bugs, but at the same time, it was a really fun game. I had to give it that. It was a fun game. It just didn't hold my attention, but I played it much later in life than when I was young.
Yeah. So
So-
I started playing on stream. I started playing an old N64 game that I loved, Rayman 2. And I was having a ton of problems with the camera and the controls now that I didn't really have before. And what I'm realizing is part of it is nostalgia factor, but part of it is also is we've just gotten used to a particular way that
games.
now cameras behave and that controls behave. And so it's like part of it is nostalgia, but part of it is also just we're used to an Xbox and a PlayStation and like how those control, and it is just really different. Partially because it's old, and partially just because that's just the best they knew how to do at the time. So it's the controls are janky comparatively to what we've become accustomed to. Is kind of my view on it.
And I like how they wanted to explain away the camera, like, oh, it's actually some guy following you with a camera in a little cloud.
Yeah.
Because
See,
the
I thought that was a little bit
concept
clever.
was so
Yeah,
new to
it's
everyone.
clever and cute, like Nintendo has always been, I guess. But my point is, it's still like I'll even admit that Spyro, the dragon, the first Spyro game, the camera was meh, but it still controlled pretty smoothly, and like that game does not seem like you have to log a whole bunch of hours in order to understand how everything works. And I guess that's how all games are, but it just seems that steep. It's a very steep learning curve for a Mario game. Is what
Yeah.
I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but they don't. Yeah, that's true because they don't really give you a whole lot of direction. Like they don't give you like how everything today has like an instruction part at the very beginning.
Yeah,
A lot of like
I'm
you
not
just have to
faulting
know
games.
to stand here. You know that this part of the cave wall is actually a hidden passageway to a slide.
Oh
That's
yeah. I
kind
know
of
that.
like I'm gonna go all old person on everybody for a minute, but like that's how games all used to be. Is that there was a
Oh, yeah.
I've been playing The Legend of Zelda recently, like the original, the very first one.
that was
I'm playing it on an NES.
That was
There is
fun.
zero. The screen opens and you're just playing, and you're
and
like,
go.
it's like and
That's
go.
very
So
true.
so I mean it doesn't tell you anything because that's just the way games were. Like they've gone. I'm gonna go. I'll get off my lawn here. They've gone soft, and everything's like, okay, I'm gonna hold your hand now and show you what all the buttons
Yeah,
are and what
kid
all
gloves.
the things are. And it's
Yeah.
like there's a sense of discovery for the world, but there is no discovery for the
Mechanics, yeah.
that are in play there. So it's
I will have to say, it like there's one thing about having a 2D because everything's laid out there for you when you're looking down on Hyrule with the very first Legend of Zelda, which like you can see everything, well, except traveling across the screens and everything like that. But
Yeah, and fuck the but like there. Okay, so yeah, you can see most stuff, but there's also all the random things that you're supposed to be able to bomb or burn, and there's no indication that that part on the wall is different than any other part on the wall.
that's true. It's a lot of guessing.
Yes.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. It's not. I don't disagree. Like, I hate tutorials because I'm a gamer. I know what buttons do what, and if not, I have common sense to know. Hey, does A make me jump? Oh, it does. A makes me jump. I'll remember that.
I prefer the ones that are technically tutorials, but it's just an easier first level to get you used to things, rather than having to explain or list all the buttons. You just kind of are thrust into the situation,
Yeah.
but it's an easier situation than you would encounter throughout the rest of the game.
Like, I feel like Ori and the Blind Forest has an alright tutorial kind of way of learning the game. It's not too, like, it doesn't hold your hand too much, I guess. But to be honest, I only played the first hour and a half of it. I'm like,
Well,
oh, I
that
need
would
to
have
play
been
this
where they
more.
hold your hand the
Yeah.
most.
Yeah.
See, I like the what was it, Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, like instructional part where it's just like basically like they're making fun of like tutorials in every single game.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they make fun of it so hard in that
Yeah,
game.
Sunset Overdrive does that as well. It's awesome. I love Sunset Overdrive.
Yeah, like literally, it's like use the left stick to move right. It's like, oh, no fucking kidding, right?
No way.
That's a great game. So,
Yeah.
but despite all the jankiness, it's Mario 64 is still a very
was-
good game.
It was pioneering, and there's a lot of awesome, cool level mechanics, and the music's pretty good. Like, I'll give
Yes.
it that much.
The music
I'm-
is
I'm
a
going-
really good
Oh, definitely.
track.
Yeah. You have to have good
Bowser's
music.
Castle music in that game was fucking amazing. I still get like all jazzed up and kind of like on
Get the
edge
chills.
when I hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't it also one of the sources of the first like gaming rumors that like by doing blank blank and blank you could unlock Luigi?
Nope. Actually, the first one I ever knew about was actually for the original Zelda, and the I heard two different rumors, and it was that if you could go through the whole game without dying, so 0 death counter, is that when you did the Master Quest or the second quest or whatever you want to call it, you could play as Zelda.
Interesting.
Was actually the first one I heard. There's also the the dirty version is like, oh, if you do that at the end, like you can totally see them like making out and shit.
You
And,
can see them make out and fuck.
yeah, so like none of that is true. I mean, if it is, we're gonna find out because I'm doing a 0 death counter
Well,
run in the
you
Zelda.
can find
You've
it out.
died,
but you might
though.
have-
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure it's not true. I think everyone would know about it. So
Well,
that's
you
actually the
probably
earliest
see
one
it.
I ever knew about.
What
You
if it was
probably could
copy
see it,
specific?
but- Yeah, I said you could probably see it, but you have to go to Tumblr to go.
Yeah.
Actually
Yeah.
see
Oh,
it,
jeez,
so you
no.
play that.
Hey, Tumblr isn't that bad, you guys. Come on, it's
Don't.
fine. Like,
No, we're not touching the Tumblr conversation.
okay, I'm just saying it could be worse. Every social media has its pros and cons. That's all I'm saying.
It could be worse. Does not make it good though. Like it could be like super fucking terrible because it's only kind of terrible. It's totally fine. Like
Well, you're just.
Look,
I think
I'm-
it's the
The
negative
fact,
parts
no, it's
that are
the fact
speaking
that
the
certain
loudest.
things that you can find without any trouble or filter is really easy on that site.
yeah, I'm not saying it doesn't have its positive sides, but it's like pie. As a general whole, I am never going to choose to go to Tumblr because it's got enough negative
think
shit going on about it.
I am so like fucking rebellious right now. Like all I want to do is go to Tumblr and be like, "Fuck you."
and here's the funny thing is the
That
only reason I
goddamn
brought
pie
up
comparison.
only reason I brought up the pie comparison is because when I was logging in to see if anybody was streaming on the TFT channel before we got started, is I came in while you were talking about cake and pie, and I'm like, well, now I gotta bring it up. So you did this to yourself.
you
You did this to yourself.
God, you jerk. But we all understand the true
Meaning of
unbelievers
Christmas.
of pastries and superior pastries believe that.
Okay,
pie.
that's
No,
bullshit.
but, like-
When did you decide that for all of us?
Wait,
I beat one wave on Killing Floor, therefore my opinion means more to you than it
What?
should. I'll let me write it down real quick.
Let me write it down. Yeah,
I
mean, like,
thesis in Piecraft. No, I'm kidding.
like Tumblr has made any time I'm trying to do a Google search for information that is not like anything I could find in Wikipedia, it is just like tainted the entire Google search page. There's always something that I just really don't want to see. Like, I am one of the people, I hang out in the, the official, like, what podcast was it forum, where people are like, hey, where did this conversation happen? Where did this conversation happen? Which pretty much is just people saying, I'm too lazy to use Google, can you code, please do it for me?
Yeah.
Because most of them you can find in Google. However, I made a mistake. And someone was trying to find the podcast. They're like, I don't remember, it was one of the video ones, and there was some kind of story being told, and, like, Gavin was, like, sitting in Michael's lap. Which one was that? And I'm like, I'll go to Google and find out. Here, everybody,
No.
don't Google Gavin and Michael's lap or Michael and Gavin's lap, because you will just get result upon result of fan fiction.
Well, that's
And-
what's
but-
that's
and
like asking for trouble. That's like,
But it's like- but here's the
oh,
thing,
I'm
it's like-
naked and I'm going down a dark alley where there's hobos. Like, that's your fault.
But it's like, I figured, like, just typing it into Google, just straight up Google would not be a problem. And of course, like, results showed up on the Google page, but the issue I had was that the couple little lines that it shows you of whatever your result page is, those were the bad parts. It picked that little excerpt to be like, here, I'm going to show you this to see if this is what you're looking for. And I'm like, that should not be on a Google search page.
Yeah,
It's
I
like,
guess. I mean, here's the thing, though. Google's recently, like, beefed up their porn. Like, if you look up porn and you go to images, well, they beefed up their security or filters, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
I like
but they
I like the
left out
term
that part
beefed up their porn. Like,
they beefed up their
it's more
porn
intense,
filters.
more hardcore.
Yeah, it's kind of scary. It's sketchy. No, but what I'm saying is they beefed up their filters to where the point where certain things won't show up in the images or the search. So you have to go to particular websites like Tumblr, and when you're searching for things that are already, you should know, there's fan fiction upon fan fiction in every. Yeah. I probably could go to Facebook and look up a fan fiction. I could go to freaking Twitter and go to, it's a crazy amount of.
Yeah, but
nastiness.
it's like, then you're going to a specific site, and if you go to Tumblr and look up anything about anybody that could be considered famous, you're going to find some sketchy shit. I should not find that just going to a Google page, but like, yeah. So anyway, so that's part of my problem with Tumblr.
The main problem is just don't do fan fiction. Like, I just don't. Well, it's like enjoy your own kinks, but God, that's still a little bit weird to me that people do that, like fan fiction about like Achievement Hunter and everything.
I think it's disturbing enough, like, some of the things that happen with fictional characters, but when it's legitimate, like...
They're people! They're real people!
Okay.
And they can
again,
read it, and their significant others can read it, like, go online and be like, oh, this is the shit I have to read about the person I'm dating.
That's a liberty you give up when you become a public figure. You can look that up. I learned it in government. Wartburg, back me up here. No, but another thing is that...
whether or not it's allowed doesn't change the fact that we can be, like, morally upset that it exists.
Well, you're allowed to be, but there should, because we have these liberties and we're allowed to express them in our own way via our constitution. The people who write said fan fiction are allowed to do so.
Yeah, we're not arguing that they're not allowed to do so.
We're just
Allowed to, we're just saying it's not fun that they do it.
Get over it. No, I don't write fan fiction. I honestly, there's no.
You're
I'm
just
not,
featured
I'm
in one. No.
I'm featured in one, but that's a whole different story. No, I'm playing devil's advocate also because I enjoy Tumblr. I find that the photos people take, the music, and indie music,
Quote unquote. Just put everything Zach says in quotes, and it sounds a lot better. The photos that people take.
It's the nature, it's the landscapes, it's these crazy places they've found by themselves via traveling. The fact that people have these huge, like, 10 or so page long theses on these weird things that I find, like, science wise or philosophy wise, like, there's a lot of creative energy in Tumblr. It's just some of it, of course, goes to the nastier parts of being a human, which is a sexual energy.
Yeah, but I said, like, there's great things on it. There's some great art. There's some great art. There's great like science things. Somebody put together a set of pictures that were all like funny puppy pictures off of Tumblr with funny captions. And it's like there is stuff that's good on there, but it's like all there's enough bad stuff to drown that out where it's just like wading through all the negative stuff to find the
Oh,
couple
man.
good things, and then like putting myself on Tumblr. It's like now it's like I'm inviting some of that to come
I
at me, and it's like
guess.
I just don't want to go that way. I mean, I've already had issues with Tumblr. I've already had issues with a representation of myself on Tumblr without being on Tumblr. So it's like I don't want to open that up any further. So I
Yeah.
just can't. I can't go there because after the PAX South panel where there was the video that Miles had done to say like, "Hey, we're working on RVB season 13 or whatever," and I'm at the very beginning of it, and there's that, and I put up that picture to be like, "Hey, look, I was in this video. That was super cool." Is someone sent me a message on Rooster Teeth like 2 days later saying, "Hey, did you know about this?" And it's a link to a Tumblr post where there's this conversation happening about who I might have been in the video, and Miles saying that character's dead forever, and there's this whole big discussion, and then somebody goes, "Don't worry, the girl in the photo confirmed all of this stuff," and then lists all these things, and I'm like,
well, that's the internet, though.
yeah,
That's
but that's the thing is it was on Tumblr. It's someone that I
I'm
know.
sure I
It's
could-
someone that I know. It wasn't just like a random thing. It was someone that I know, and I talked to them. I'm like, where
the
did this
fuck?
come from? And she's like, "Oh, well, someone else told me that you said this, and I just kind of went with it." And I'm like, and I know part of that's the internet, but the Tumblr gave them a place to go do it. Like it didn't pop up on Rooster Teeth. It didn't pop up on Twitter. It didn't pop up
It
anywhere
probably
else.
could have done. It could have gone on Reddit. It could have been on Twitter in private messages. Like we don't have access to 100% of the internet. You for sure objectively.
We're saying that
cannot say
Tumblr
for
is a
100%.
place, is like a focus of the bad things. It doesn't make it inherently bad, but it is
Yes.
a good, like, beacon for a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I think we're...
and it's a lot easier for I feel like it's a lot easier for misinformation to spread via Tumblr than it is somewhere like on Reddit. Because like on Reddit, it's in a singular thread. It stays in a singular
Yeah.
place, and people can call you out on your bullshit. As
People
soon as
constantly do that.
someone reblogs something on Tumblr, that goes somewhere else, and whoever originally posted it can no longer take that back.
Yeah.
On Reddit, you can still remove that and be like, you know what, I fucked up. Okay, that's gone now. But
I'm
you
sure,
can't
there's
do that on
some
Tumblr.
I'm sure there are a whole bunch of a plethora of examples I could bring up, but of course my mind is failing me. I just feel like the negativity of the site and the things that are associated with Tumblr is what makes it have such a huge negative
No,
connotation.
it's not
to it.
inherently bad. It's just a lot of the users on there and the certain
that's
site
general-
functionalities allow these things to
It,
exist.
I think it's too safe of a spot for people to have no repercussions for things.
Yeah.
Almost any other media platform I can think of, there's something that can be done to kind of like undo it, address it, rein it in, call somebody out on their shit. Tumblr, it's everything spiders
Yeah.
out, and it's no longer traceable,
Yeah.
and you can't, and you can never fully
Yeah.
take that back. And so that's my issue with Tumblr: is someone can say anything they want, and as soon as someone else picks it up, it is now there forever.
yeah, fair enough.
So
I don't know. I think that I guess I can consider that a design flaw within Tumblr, but I just feel like maybe that's probably one of the greatest things
you're
about
trying
it
to
as
avoid
well.
people being too hard on it just because of
Yeah.
certain things.
Yeah, well, it's because I use the site, and I also like to play devil's advocate and have these kinds of discussions. And we also have a Tumblr, so I'm also defending the fact that we have a Tumblr. Because it's like, social media is like, it creates a spider web for content creators, and the people who come in are these little raindrops that just sort of fall from
Raindrops keep
Twitter and
falling on my
Instagram
head.
and Facebook and even the RT site, and they all just kind of collect together in the center where we produce our content. And I want to expand our spider web a little more, and by doing that helps us. But I that's my defense, I guess. And one of the things I find so interesting about Tumblr is the fact that it's such a huge bastion of creativity and self-expression that so much of it is it implodes on itself because it's so self-expressive. So it's like this interesting, fascinating, like, this is what society would look like if this is what all we did is just self-expressive PC bullshit. It's just like, wow, it's crazy. It's entertaining, but at the same time, it's like, I like the art and stuff. I don't know. It's whatever.
I like
Fucking
the
kill me, I
art.
guess.
Yeah. We talked this subject to death. Can we
Yeah.
move on?
Yeah.
to that?
We're
Most
done.
certainly. Yeah, we're done. We're done with Tumblr.
But with fanfics, that brings me that kind of reminds me of a subject that recently happened. Does anyone want to talk about the big news with Jeepin' Hunter?
I like how that was somehow related to fanfic.
Well, 'cause we were talking about Gavin and Michael. And the
Okay, yeah.
So
Yeah,
So,
that was a pretty good segue, Jordan.
yeah, I'll take it. So if anybody has been living under a rock or not been on the Rooster Teeth site, because somehow my sister didn't know this until I mentioned it earlier, and she went, "What?" So I know there are people out there.
Yeah.
Ray announced on Friday that he's leaving Achievement
Yeah.
Hunter.
I knew it.
I say Friday. This past Friday, from when we're recording this, that would have been like the 10th or some 11th. I don't
One
know
of
which
those
day it is.
days.
One of those days around there.
yeah.
It was
Of
the 10th.
April, in case you're listening to this super in the future.
Yeah.
So yeah, his last day is this coming Friday. He's going to start streaming full time. He already has his Twitch channel all set up. He already has his sub button. He already has over 350 subs.
That's incredible that it jumped that high before he's
His
even really
chat
started.
has been going nonstop. He hasn't even streamed yet. He has 70,000 followers, 350 subs, and his chat is just constantly going.
And if you look at Nightsaw, he put in the chat, Nightsaw obviously subbed to Ray because he has all these raid emotes. He has
Oh,
a
yeah.
rose, he has a chair, he has a raid.
He already
and
has.
he an
So he already set
upside-down
up his
Ray.
emotes.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
Jeez,
can't-
that was fast.
Yeah, Nightsal's not the only one. I subbed to Ray last night.
Oh, yeah,
As
I
soon
did
as I
too.
heard about it. I'm so excited for him to get started on.
It was really entertaining every time he was streaming on like the Rooster Teeth channel, but even before it became the Rooster Teeth channel, just on his own, it was really fun just to watch his
Yeah.
streams.
I don't
Seems very
know.
comfortable in those.
I didn't want to make any predictions aloud and be like, Ray's going to leave eventually. But because I feel like people would be like, oh, why would you say that? That's mean and rude and blah, blah, blah. But I knew of, like, as soon as he start, like, 4 or 5 months ago, I knew he's like, yeah, this guy's going to leave. He's going to deuce. He's going to peace.
Well, you could tell, like, just the way he handled himself on the Let's Plays in the last, like, 6 months or so, because
Yeah.
he's just been so deflated.
Less enthusiastic.
Yeah, he used
and-
to that like a lot of the current memes that everyone at last RTX was shouting over and over. Like it seemed like 75% of them came from Ray alone,
Yeah.
and then like you could just tell something was different, something was off, especially in things like the Minecraft Let's Plays.
Oh, yeah.
And of all of the current Achievement Hunter members, it did feel like if anyone was to do what he just did, it would have been him already.
Well, yeah, because it's also based on his personality. He seems like he's comfortable being by himself. I mean, he has, like, not saying on a personal level, I'm sure he has lots of friends and he likes to talk to people, but just as someone who doesn't like to go out at doors as much, like, from all of his friends' observations and stuff, like, you can speculate that his personality would lean more towards self-reliance. You know, like he's a more of a standalone kind of dude, and he has the ability to do so because that's his personality. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just a thing.
Yeah, I will miss a lot of the interactions. Like they had up to the point where they had their own little teams in some of the videos and stuff like that. And it is kind of funny how
he's dead.
Well, yeah, and how after the first season of X-Ray and Vav, the team no longer can ever happen in a video again.
Yeah.
It's sad that that's going to happen, but I'm glad it's not just a complete close-off, more similar to what JJ did, that he's still technically even in the cast and crew, and he's still going to pop in videos, like he said in his journal.
Yeah.
He's just going to go to streaming, which is really enjoyable anyway.
Yeah, streaming is a whole different experience from pre-recording videos, because when you at least in my opinion, when I record something and then I edit it and then I upload it or I schedule for it to be uploaded, I'm always concerned about this wasn't funny or I could have edited this better or, you know, this, that, and the other thing. Streaming is perfect for people who have those kinds of concerns because you can immediately, people be like, hey, the audio's off, or hey, I really like that joke, or this was funny, or this wasn't funny, or
you suck. I'm kidding.
Exactly. It's an instant feedback you get. It's like, oh, this is awesome. It's like instant gratification.
Why is there a mom playing Zelda on the stream
Oh my
tonight?
god! that was like the saddest troll attempt ever.
What happened?
Okay,
my
so I think it was sometime last week. I was streaming Zelda, and somebody pops in the chat. And they're like, "Hey, why is somebody's mom playing their NES?" And I think I said, I was like, wow, like, that is so creative, that's, really original, A+, for you, for your joke. And he got really mad and called me a cunt and threatened to tie cinder blocks to my feet and throw me in a river. So.
Wow, fuck that dude.
Needless to say, I gave him the Banhammer along with James, or Sajin, and Mr. Fusion. So
yeah, it's really funny when somebody gets banned. I actually have the option. I can see who was banned and I can see who banned them. So you did actually get to him first, Jordan. So good for you.
That's...
Does he get more points?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he gets more mod points. So I was just like, oh, like now I'm like a legit streamer. I got my first like actual troll.
Yeah,
But it was just somebody's like, why is somebody's mod playing an NES? And then he got banned. And I'm thinking about it. I'm like, does a kid nowadays even know what an NES is? Like,
Yeah.
I think the only people playing them would be people's moms. Like, why?
There's probably just some mongoloid.
Well, there's a couple.
piece of
There's
shit.
a couple like subsection of people that are still following them a lot. Like especially people that watch YouTubers like JonTron, who talk about NES and SNES games all the time.
Any of the people who
Yeah.
do normal boots like PBG and Kid Icarus and JonTron and all the other
Game
guys like
Grumps.
that. Yeah, Game Grumps.
yeah.
It's cool that Let's Players sort of revitalize the older mediums like that, though. It's interesting.
So it was really funny. It cracked me up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, when you were talking about that a stream ago or so, I think you were on like the 7th or 6th dungeon. I was like legit pissed that I wasn't there, so I could have dogged him, talk shit about him,
Yeah, it was pretty great because I think
eat his soul.
his username was also like something very like Hitler did nothing wrong related. Like it was something like that, and I was
Yeah,
just
it
like,
was.
Jesus fucking Christ, dude! Like,
Yeah, that's probably one of the most negative parts about Twitch is anyone at any point in time can look at the game that they want to go for and then just troll the people who have a not a huge following and the chat isn't going 1,000 miles an hour.
Well,
Just-
it's not really negative. If the chat's going slow, then you can easily pick out something like that and ban it. And then on the contrary, if it's going fast, usually a lot of the troll comments are eaten up anyway.
Yeah. That's why I like to be on
As long as there's a nice, at least like one other mod in the chat, usually it's
Yeah.
fine. Like
Yeah,
one
'cause-
person other than the streamer, because certain games, like I know I tried to
Five
watch
Nights
the
at
chat
Freddy's.
during a game like that, and that's like suicide if you try to watch the chat and play certain games.
oh yeah,
Yeah. I think you, in particular, Chaos, experienced something along those lines when you were streaming either Five Nights at Freddy's or something like that, and I immediately used the ban hammer. I'm like, fuck you! It's just... Why? You have no benefit. Like, I'm so glad I deleted it before anyone noticed. I'm like, yeah, that's right. Fuck off. Just
And it turned out to be Wubwave, just...
oh god, of course it was fucking
it
Wubwave.
was,
No,
it wasn't.
I'm
No,
kidding.
I was just making a joke. Just making
I'm
a
like,
joke.
I would totally believe that.
I think as a whole, I don't know. I don't follow this. Like, I don't follow the forums too much. I only stick with the Oxford Cafe and the Comic Cafe and the forum thread. Those are the only forums I really stick to. And I don't know. I don't think he's too antagonistic anymore. I could be wrong. Zelda, am I wrong?
I'm just gonna not even touch this conversation. I'm just not going to.
Aww.
Oh, you're killing me. You're killing me. I'm dying.
All right.
Oh boy.
Yeah. No, speaking of like trolls and everything, there's like some negative stuff that I know is coming through. I'm not going to name any specific names, but it has to deal with Ray and going back to streaming.
Oh, yeah.
There's a few people that have been already trying to like vie for Ray's job, like, and people.
Oh,
Wait, what?
Jesus Christ. Yeah,
Oh.
they do that constantly, like regardless of whether or not they perceive an opening. Though I just think it's
Yeah, that is an odd thing because Achievement Hunter has always been known as a set. All the posters, everything about them has been saying that like, this is the Achievement Hunter group. If one is missing, does that mean it has to be 6? Is Achievement Hunter known for being 6? Because it has grown. Like before Ryan, it was just the 5 of them.
well, and
Yeah,
before Ray, it was just the 4. Like they've added is that like when Let's Plays started out and it's just Jeff and Michael like playing Saints Row. I mean, they've grown as they've gone on, but I think that a lot of people are thinking just because Ray's gone, I can jump into his spot when it's like they have the entire B team working there. So if they want to bring somebody up, if they
They're gonna
feel
bring
like they
them-
still need 6,
yeah.
why would they not put Lindsay in there?
Yeah,
Lindsay,
yeah,
or
Lindsay-
if Lindsay wasn't able to, then like Matt or Jeremy easily could have taken it, or both at
Yeah,
the same
well, somebody
time.
who's
Same
shown
time.
dedication, not like kid who joined 2 days ago to the site because he thinks like, oh, Ray's
Or-
leaving, so I made an
or-
account, like I can get a spot.
Fuck off.
Or half-baked streamer that has a small fan following.
Please
So-
tell me that Ray actually changes his name on RT to X-Ray.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That
That'd
would
be
be
pretty good.
That would be very
It
funny.
has so many meanings.
Yeah, it does.
Great.
It's like a double entendre. It's beautiful.
Ray, I know you're not listening to this, but you should do that.
Yeah.
No, just seeing this whole situation, it just reminds me of the Emperor's New Groove when Yzma's sitting there talking at Cusco's funeral. Is like, oh, we miss him so much. Well, out with the old. And
Yeah,
with the new.
back
Yeah.
work.
It's not getting any deader.
Yep.
I love that movie.
Yeah, that movie's pretty
we
good.
should do a picture. We just plaster Jeff's face over that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I don't know. Those kinds of moments remind me of the cringiest moment I've ever experienced at RTX, which is the Deep Throat guy.
God,
Was it RTX
yeah.
2013?
Yeah, it was 2013. I think right after Ray announced that he was leaving, somebody posted a picture, and it's like, "It's your time to shine." And it was a picture of the guy deep throwing the microphone. I was like, "Okay, that's pretty good."
I'm so
That-
glad
that
that,
was-
didn't happen on my mic because
God, yeah.
I was working the panel, and I was working the mics at the time. That guy got the other mic. I'm so glad it didn't, but I ended up getting someone who was just as kind of awkward. It was the guy who was dressed up as Slender Man and just kind of stood
Oh,
there
yeah.
for like
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
God,
a
that
minute,
was
and
cringeworthy
I was getting like
too.
signals from Andrew just going like, get him out. And then finally Michael took the initiative and got the Mogar sword and came down.
Nice.
Go
Now
chop
that
at
I
him.
know that you were at
Yeah.
that mic, I want to go back and watch that video podcast and be like,
I
"Oh,
know.
there's Jordan."
Yeah, like just frame by frame, find him real quick. Yeah.
But it was the achievement hunter. Was it? No, it was.
It was the achievement hunter. Yeah, it was an achievement
Yeah,
hunter
it's and the video's online. So.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. You were saying podcast. I was like thinking. It was
Oh,
Oh,
my
yeah.
brain just got on autopilot.
We
for
just
that.
done goofed.
Yeah, my
we-
bad.
we- I forgave her immediately and just ignored it, but Jordan over here, the naggy guy.
Hey, I
As soon
called-
as you
I
get to
called
be an
out
executive
him.
producer, you're all high and mighty.
That hurt.
That hurt, did it? Did it though?
The funny thing about RTX 2013 cracks me up is I actually have a picture with James that before I knew James. I didn't
Oh,
know
really?
I didn't know him at all. It was after we were at RTX last year. We were talking about when I had been there in 2013. I was like, yeah, I got this. I was at Geeks Who Drink, and I saw Jack there, and James was like, did you get a picture with him? I go, yeah, and he goes, pull it up, and James is in the picture that I have with Jack.
Did he wait? Was it all just you standing together, or was he like a photo bomb in a way?
Well, because he was a guardian that was standing near Jack, so he was just like
And
in.
for those
he
of
was
us
just
who
in the
don't
photo
know
being all
James-
guardian-y and stuff, while I was like being all fangirly, like, oh my god, Jack, you're awesome. And then and then I was in Austin in January, and I just went and hung out with him and talked about watches. So times change, man. It's crazy.
Hey, Lozelda, for those of us who don't know James by, his first
Oh.
name, what's his RT name?
Desejin, Desayjin, that guy.
Yeah.
I'm
I
still
like
not
him-
entirely sure how I'm supposed to be saying it. Every time I say it, I say it a
Desajin?
little bit
Desajin?
differently. So
Yeah.
I always say Desajin.
Desajin, yeah. So
I think he
should
says
release some of
Desajin.
those. Yeah.
he's also just a middleman on Twitch. If you've seen, and
Oh yeah,
Twitter.
he's a mod on your chat, and
Yes,
we've had
he is.
a chat while you were doing your thing, and he's a pretty cool dude. He supported my puns. He supported my puns. and that's what
yeah.
matters
That's why I had to
most.
revoke his mod status.
And yeah, I was about to say, and banned.
Well,
I
yeah.
think he kind of has to though support puns because both his wife and Barbara are like huge pun people. So
yeah. And James was Barbara's PA. In case you didn't catch
Yeah.
that connection.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's perfect.
Yeah. It was like, why, like, I was being villainized. I'm like, I'm just, just having a fun.
You're just
I
a
re-
po.
I like puns, but I like good.
Yeah.
I like good puns.
You know, I try. I tried so hard. You know, given the limited amount of time I had, I think I did all right.
Yeah, I do not award points for effort, so
Yeah, I know.
that's why people didn't like me as a teacher. I was like, no, you have to actually do shit if you want any credit.
I think my favorite moment was when you were bitching about the snow, and I made a shit ton of like snow related
Oh
puns.
my god, I actually
I was
legitimately
so
almost
happy.
banned you. And I was like,
I was-
I was like 1 or 2. I'm like, okay, and then it kept going, and I'm like, all right, you found the line. It's not funny anymore. Cut it out.
You're so nice, Zach.
Good times.
So, Jen, you had an interesting story topic that we were talking about before the podcast, dealing with Low Link.
Oh yeah.
God. Okay, so Low Link is currently in Puerto Rico for a work-related trip, so he is down there with a couple people out of his work group taking care of some stuff. So he left Sunday. He did not have the greatest travel adventures, so he had to leave the house at 4 a.m.
Oof.
It was a 2.5 hour flight down to Atlanta, and then they were going from Atlanta to Puerto Rico. So I think he was on a plane for a total of 5.5, 6 hours. He was in, and if you've not seen Low Link, he's not like a big guy, but he's a big enough guy that being told you're going to be in the middle seat for 6 hours is not fun for anybody involved. So he was in the middle seat the whole way. Gets down there, they get lost for a while because the way the island is set up is only particular parts of it are developed. So you fly in to the airport that's at the north side, and then the only hotel that they could stay at is on the south side. So that's 2 hours of driving. And so they're like, we have to go find food. We have to eat something. So they're driving along, and they're in Puerto Rico. They're in Puerto Rico. And rather than going to experiencing some local cuisine, they went to a macaroni grill because his boss was like, yeah, macaroni grill. Let's do that.
Sure, why not?
Gotta
So
have
they-
that bread and olive oil.
Yeah, so they went to Macaroni Grill, and then they did their giant drive to the hotel, and they get to the hotel, and Low Link was fortunate enough to be in a room by himself. He's the only person who gets a room to himself, so that's really cool, except his toilet does not work. Nothing in his bathroom
no.
works.
That's
So he's like,
shitty.
this is, yeah, it is shitty.
Hey.
See there?
So-
See what I did? All right.
So
Exactly.
he was none too thrilled about that. And they had to do some work stuff, and then they went out to dinner, and they came back from dinner, and his bathroom was working, his toilet was working, it was great. But there's now an iguana on
Wait,
his
what?
bed.
What?
So it's an iguana. Smack it out of the way, throw it out the window. Who cares?
No, this is, do you know how, I'm talking, do you know how big iguanas are?
Yeah.
It's like, was it a foot or 2 feet?
It was like the size of our dogs. It was a full
You'd have
fucking,
tiny dogs, though.
but I have, they're 20 pounds. They're,
They-
they're
it-
pretty hefty.
When it's a creature like that, it's not easy
Yeah.
to just go shoo shoo.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, this is my bed now, fucker. So,
Take it as a new free pet.
yes. Yeah, I'm sure if he was into exotic animals, he would have been really excited. But he was like, I just want to go to bed. I've had a shitty day traveling, and there's iguana on my bed. But I pointed out that his bathroom was now working, so I'm like, obviously the iguana fixed it, and you have to let him stay now as a token of your gratitude.
Yeah,
it, no,
like
it
the
didn't
gods
work
of the
because it was
bathroom.
stuck in the.
Oh
pipe
god, I
system.
didn't even think of that. That could very well be a thing. I'm not going to mention that to
No,
him.
that iguana would be dead if it was stuck in the pipes. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
The
I don't know.
pipes.
I guess because I live in Arizona and I've had to deal with larger reptiles like Gila monsters and diamondbacks and shit like that. That I have no problem with dispatching a reptile
Zach
instantly if
slowly
necessary.
puts on his sunglasses in the
We don't
background.
exactly have reptile issues in buttfuck nowhere, freezing cold Michigan.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah,
Me, it's
we-
like fuck off. It's my everyday
Yeah.
life. As soon as I get out the door, fuck you, lizard. I'm gonna walk on my sidewalk.
Yeah, and it's not like it's not like he was freaked out by it or anything. He's just like, and now there's a goddamn iguana on my bed. I
It's
just
like,
want to.
oh, great.
I was like, I just want to take a shower and go to sleep. Come on. So that was the thing that all happened, and then they went to the plant on Monday, and that was all great. And then they got lost for
Nice.
2 hours in the middle of the Puerto Rican wilderness jungle, whatever.
Good.
So I get a text from him, and he's like, "Hey, He's like, we're almost back to the hotel, or we should be getting back to the hotel soon. I'll call you in a few minutes." And 3 hours later, I get a text that says, "So Puerto Rican cops are cool," and I'm like, "What? Where have you been?" And he goes, "I'll tell you later." And then I didn't hear from him again. So
And you still haven't heard from him.
Wait,
He's dead now.
Like he's in like a Puerto Rican jail somewhere. He's missing a kidney. Like,
Nah. He's probably totally fine.
So what happened? Or is that the last you've heard?
So I got to talk to him a little bit earlier today. So I guess they were lost. They had also decided they only wanted to take one car, but there were 6 of them. And rather than just going, well, I guess we have to take 2. Nope, they still just took one, and they were in an SUV, and he was sitting in the back, like, trunk area of the SUV. So while they were lost, some cops came by and saw him sitting in the back, and they're like, yeah, you're not supposed to be here, and you're definitely not supposed to be sitting there. So they got to have a nice conversation with some Puerto Rican cop people. After which point, they're like, you have to sit in an actual seat, and he's like, yes, sir, and the cops leave, and then they just go, fuck it, and they were like, he's just gonna stay back there. And then they eventually, somehow, while they were lost, they made their way to some, like, a national park landmark kind of thing. Like, there's a really cool, like, fort, I guess, that's supposed to be, like a national park kind of thing. Which, if it follows, Puerto Rico is technically, they are a part of the U.S., they are a U.S. territory, so they're supposed to be subject to the same rules, where it's like, a national park is supposed to be closed at sundown. At this point, it's midnight, and they're like, fuck it, we're gonna look anyway. So now they're walking around this national park they're not supposed to be in, smoking cigars they're not supposed to be smoking outside.
Nice.
I'm just like, and then they ran into the cops again, and I'm just like, I can confirm you're not calling me from a Puerto Rican prison, right? Like, you're out and about right now. Yeah, so there's the brief story of Low Link being in Puerto Rico. I did just get a text from him. I guess that's where do you guys know about the bioluminescent bay? Have you ever heard of this thing?
Yes, I have.
Okay. So if you haven't heard of it, you should Google it and look it up. It's supposed to be very, very gorgeous. It's pretty much, it's at night. It's full of all kinds of organisms that it's they glow. They glow these beautiful colors for all kinds of scientific reasons that I'm not going to bore everyone with. But it's supposed to be really pretty. And there were people out of his group that really wanted to go see it because it's on the Puerto Rican island. And Low Link was like, yeah, we should go do it. But Low Link likes to do research, and so he's looking stuff up, and he finds out the way it works is you have to meet at a particular location, and then you take a 45-minute ferry ride to another, like, a smaller island that's just off the coast of Puerto Rico, and you do that 45-minute thing, and you get there, and then they go through this whole safety thing, and then you have to kayak for an hour to get to the bay, and then you're there for, like, 15 minutes seeing everything, and then you have to go back and do all that again. He's like, that's a lot of stuff, and it sounds like there's because of the rising water temperatures, a lot of what makes the bay glow has been dying off, so it's like it's not really bright anymore, and like, so it's like, I'm gonna spend 2 hours kayaking, an hour and a half on a ferry to see a kind of lit bay for like 15 minutes. He goes, I don't want to do this, I'm not gonna go do it. But the whole group was like, we should go do it, it's gonna be awesome, and so he can't be the only person who doesn't go, so they apparently went tonight. So the bright side, I just got a text saying that apparently everything he was reading about it was not entirely accurate, and he's like, I don't often admit when I'm wrong, because I never am, is in parentheses, and I laughed. But it says, but that bioluminescent bay was amazing, like, whoa. So apparently if you go to Puerto Rico, you go to the bioluminescent bay, it's gorgeous.
That's awesome.
So there's that. So I'm glad he actually had something work out for him for a change.
And not be talking to you from jail again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So he's still, I made a joke, I was like, you still have both your kidneys, right? Haha. He still has not answered that question, so like he's like completely danced around it. Yeah. I'm like, oh fuck, why are you not addressing my question about your internal organs?
You had to do some questionable things to get out of jail, Lozo, but don't worry about it.
The iguana took his kidneys.
Yeah, wildlife's interesting, and I got to see bees make a beehive. What?
What life's interesting?
Wildlife.
Okay.
Nature.
For some reason, I heard jail life.
Okay, then moving on. Wildlife's pretty interesting. I actually put a picture in the Twitch chat of some bees.
Bees?
And
bees.
Yes, I got to see the life and nature take place and have bees make a nest right near my front door.
Oh, fuck that.
Yeah, and Jordan's already expressed his fuck that nope. But if you see those pictures, I think you'll understand why. I got pretty close to him, too.
Have you gotten rid of that, or do you just leave things like that alone?
We're going no. Well, the thing is, it's in a storm gutter, so as soon as
Oh.
they're done making it and it turns monsoon
Oh,
season,
Jeff.
they're gonna
Nope.
be angry as fuck and take it out on us. And some of our dogs have already been stung, like their faces are all
no.
swollen. We've been giving them Benadryl, but it's.
I'm gonna pull up I'm pulling up the image that describes exactly how I feel about that picture and share that with all of you. Here we go. This I'm putting
Yeah.
it. I'm putting it in the Twitch chat. There we go.
Nice,
This
yeah.
is my reaction to the to your bee picture.
Yeah. Nope. Fair
Wait,
enough.
where is this bee picture?
There's two images. One image is from farther away, and I'm like, oh, they're too busy building their nest. Let's get a look closer. And I got a little
Holy
closer.
shit!
Yeah.
How did you get that close? And how?
The lens it's pretty big. but
Okay,
not
so it's
that
like
big.
Jeez, I thought it was just like a small little thing.
I was probably a foot or two away.
Oh my gosh.
That's still too close.
That's
If you could reach out and touch it, you're too close.
Oh yeah, I could have grabbed a handful of them suckers.
And then-
no, but I don't know. I like taking pictures like that because it's interesting and you know it's fun. That's also why I took a picture of a black widow. It's somewhere on the internet. I'll find it and we'll have a link dump for it. It's
You know what
pretty
else
cool.
is interesting? Dying from anaphylactic shock. Because I don't care if you're allergic or not. If all of them sting you, you're fucked. Okay.
Well, yeah. I was made sure I was odorless, and I also stayed calm because insects and animals alike are very attuned to their emotional tension and stuff like that. So
Did
I
you
very-
just say you made sure you were odorless?
yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of hung up on that a little too.
Science alert! Science alert!
No, I was making sure that I didn't smell like a flower and I didn't smell tasty, and I wasn't.
Which
I didn't
is
smell
very
bad
different
either.
than saying you're odorless.
Yes, I basically
He showed up there in a
ninja.
hazmat suit.
I was like,
No.
if you
I
have
was in
found a
my
way to make sure
boxers.
you are odorless, you patent that shit right now and you will be a goddamn millionaire.
Yeah.
Also, especially if you can get it in a spray bottle where I can just walk up to people and spray it and they'll never know, and then they don't
that'd
stink
be
anymore.
great.
In RTX, then you have to
Oh my
go
God.
through the odor barrier.
That would be great. The deodorizer.
RTX wasn't so bad, but there were a few.
They just have to.
Sections
They
that
just
were very
install that
questionable.
at the doorway of conventions. It like sprays you very subtly as you walk in
Yeah.
the door.
You think
Well,
it's
I
like one
was-
of those mister things that
Yeah.
they got when it's really hot outside? It's like, oh, it's this cooling mist.
That would have really helped in my freshman year of college because I had I had a calc class where I had these Malaysian girls who were sitting like next to me. They like came over from Malaysia and were transfer students and everything. And
Yeah.
we were in calc class for Vanderbilt, and next thing you know, I just like get this really bad smell. Apparently, Malaysians have like this really unique perfume that covers up the smell of curry, except this one didn't do so well. So it was like really bad perfume mixed with curry, and it almost made me throw up at least 20 times during
Yeah.
that year. The problem was the girl had a crush on me,
Oh.
so she kept on sitting next to me every
Oh,
single
no.
class, and I felt bad because I'm like, you might be a nice girl, but I can't stand
Was she
sitting
cute?
next to you.
Like, if she didn't smell, would you go out with her?
I don't know.
Yeah.
To be fair, it has been a while.
Can we all talk? I'm always baffled by this phenomenon when somebody like stinks, not like legitimately stinks because of a BO issue, not like terrible perfume choices, things like that. Does anybody else have that phenomenon where you can feel like heat coming off of it before?
yeah.
Yes.
Like
Oh.
that's the fucking
Oh.
worst. I'm like, I don't even understand how that's a thing. But you can like feel the smell before, and it's like, and you get that wave. You have just enough time to go. Oh God, hold your breath. It's always like when you've done an outward breath, so that way it's like you don't have time
You
to
have
suck
to.
good air in, and
Yeah.
it's like I'm going to die now. This is, yeah. So you're talking about smell things. I had to deal with somebody like that relatively recently. I don't remember why. I was in
feel
some.
like people in our
The link was
social
working
group-
out one day, and he just.
Yeah.
like in our demographic as gamers or quote unquote nerds or whatever. I feel like no one taught us no one taught anyone hygiene. Like, brush your teeth, shave, shit, wipe, shower.
Did none of us have parents?
I don't. were we
Well,
raised
sometimes
by
some of the
wolves? Like,
gamers' parents, at least, a lot of the ones that we look down on, that are just like very not look down, but they might not be as strict upon stuff like that. Just like they're not strict about what games they let their kids play.
Yeah.
So they might not be as into, hey, you need to make sure your teeth are brushed, or have you cleaned your plate, and all that type of stuff.
Younger kids probably, but the older ones, like if there are people like in our generation or like gens in my age, like in the upper echelons of the 20s, that are like at RTX and just anti-deodorant, that's probably less of a parenting issue and more just like they don't give a fuck.
Yeah, that's a laziness issue at that point.
Yeah, that's they don't go out in the world and nobody can smell them through Xbox, so fuck it.
I love that our age just got described as the upper echelon. That makes it feel fancy. I like it.
Whatever. That's just
I
the
feel
fucking
classy as fuck
flowery
now.
way of
We
saying
can
old.
drink and we have lower insurance rates, so that's good.
Yup. I can rent a car,
That you can. Very true.
Yeah.
you only the finest of cars.
Only the
Hey,
finest of
it
cars.
is very nice if you have to drive like 1,000 miles somewhere and then drive 1,000 back. Fuck doing that to your car, bro. Rent a car. Fuck up their stuff.
Fair enough.
Yep, fair enough.
I'm actually doing that this summer. I'm fucking up somebody else's car doing a road trip, so it's gonna be great.
Nice. Where do you plan on going?
We have a bunch of family that lives kind of like in like the
Did you
East
say like
Coast
Arkansas or something?
area. Well, my family's in Arkansas where my parents are, and we're not hitting that up. But there's
okay.
family we haven't seen since we got married 3 years ago. Just because
wow,
they're over, in DC and in North Carolina and down in Florida, and it's just we just don't see them. So we're like, we have to fix that, especially because some of them are grandparents and they're a little on the older side, and we're like, we should see you more because you're old and stuff.
And
yeah,
life
so
energy
there's
is
that.
draining from you.
Exactly. So we're like, okay, we should go do this. So we're actually gonna fly. We're taking it's a total of 10 days. We're taking 7 vacation days from work.
Nice.
And we're gonna fly into the northernmost one. We're gonna fly to DC and see my grandparents, and we're renting a car. We're gonna spend like 2 or 3 days with everybody and just go from place to place. And it's not a ton of time, but it's like we still get to see people that we haven't seen. And so it's like, I'd like to spend more than, a day and a half with my grandparents, but a day and a half is better than the fact that we haven't
Not a
seen them
day
for
at
3
all.
years. So it's what we could swing. So we're going to do that. And we're going to try to not stab each other because it's a total of 24 hours of driving.
Oh,
so
God,
that'll
yeah.
be a thing. But I think the longest one is 8 hours. The longest leg is 8 hours. But that one's okay because that's the one where we end up in Florida. And my uncle, has, a beach house. In the literal,
Nice.
literally, his backyard is the goddamn ocean. So it's
Nice.
okay, yeah, I'll drive 8 hours for that.
Yeah, long distance driving takes a toll on you, especially with other
yeah.
people in the car. I drove down 16 hours to RTX with three other people in the car with me.
Yeah, one of whom trying to kill you on accident.
Yeah,
so.
almost killed me because he said, "Hey, I'm in the Canadian Army. I drove cars late at night as well. Okay, I guess I'll trust you with the wheel." Next thing you know, I hear doom, 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 and we're almost hitting the guardrail on the road in the middle of the night. And
Nice.
yeah. So basically, I had to drive the next 10 hours,
Yeah.
and it was not fun.
That
I went-
wakes you up, though. That's the risk of death most certainly is a sobering thing.
Yeah.
The only
Like-
good part was at the end of the trip, we went to go see How to Train Your Dragon 2 and had a nice, I guess you would call it brunch at the Alamo Draft House. So
Oh man, nice. Can I just say I love drinking? As now that
As
I'm
a
20
newly dubbed
Speaking of
21.
driving,
as now that I'm 21, there's something satisfying about it. Just being able to go into a store, buy.
Well,
a
go into
12-pack.
like you were doing with your dad, bar hopping.
Yeah, well, yeah, and I also got to bar hop with my friend on her 25th birthday, and that was a fucking blast. We spent until 2 a.m. just going a mile down 4th and Main and shit like that, just bar hopping, and that was crazy. And then we did flip cup and beer pong, and then it was all of a sudden it was 6 a.m. in the morning. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is awesome. It's a new experience, man. It's awesome. I like
I can't
experiencing
remember
new
the
things.
last time I
It's a
stayed
new-
up to midnight.
Yeah.
You're like, I was out drinking till 2 a.m. I'm like, I was super exhausted at 11:45 the other night, and I was like, I can't do this.
RTX, that's what's happening. We're just gonna
Well, that was the thing. It's like I hadn't done
all of
it.
us people who can drink are drinking.
I hadn't done it in a really long time, but RTX last year, it's like I was. Yeah, I mean, that was probably literally the last time I was up past midnight because I was out seeing people because all I could do was see people after hours. So
Yeah.
like the night of the Bar Olympics, I didn't actually go to bed ever. I took a nap, is what I call it.
She was
I
in
did
breast mode.
yeah, pretty much. It's like I did the Bar Olympics, and that was great. And I was like, okay, well, we closed the bar. I need to go back and sleep. It's already 2 a.m. And as I was walking, and like literally, I was staying at the Firehouse Hostel, which is like I can see Buffalo Billiards from where I was sleeping. It's that close. So I'm like, I literally just have to walk across the street, walk up one building, and then I'm there. And somehow between Buffalo Billiards and that, I ran into a group of people I knew, and I'm like, I haven't seen you guys this whole time. We should hang out. And then I look at my phone, I'm like, it's 4 a.m. I gotta be up at 6. Like, I gotta, like,
Aww.
I should not be doing this right now.
I can't wait for this year's RTX.
Oh my god, RTX is, I'm so
I
excited.
know.
Just, like,
I'm super.
I'm
fucking
so glad that
excited.
it's set the time so that where it is, so it'll be a lot less crowded for non-RTX goers.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly, yeah.
I'm going to look forward to this year because I guess I haven't told you guys this, but I've been doing Fit for RTX like heavily this past like month or so. And
Cool,
one
man.
of the things I did was I vowed off alcohol until RTX.
Really?
Oh man.
Yeah,
You're
because
strong. You're stronger
for
than I.
many scientific reasons, alcohol is very counterproductive to muscle growth and for losing weight.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I cut it out, and let's just say when I get to RTX, it's going to be a very fun and drunken night. When I
Yeah.
first get
He's
there.
not
So,
going to put down the bottle.
Let's all
I
just have
like,
a drink in our hand
special, like,
constantly.
I have the special bottle of bourbon that I get at least once a year, and I have that ready plus a Zelda flask cartridge.
Oh my god, that
Nice.
that flask is like the coolest goddamn flask. I want one. I want one so much.
And I have that set for when like I won't open it. I have it like sealed off in the safe, and I won't open it until I'm ready to go to RTX. So
For anybody who doesn't know what he's talking about with the flask, it looks like an old Nintendo cartridge, like an
Like,
NES
that's-
Do you have
cartridge,
a
but it's a
picture of
mother,
that?
but it's a motherfucking flask.
it's, was it inkwhiskey.com?
I think I'm gonna try to find one. Yeah.
And they have a golden cartridge, a golden Zelda cartridge.
Oh my
It's like
gosh.
limited.
Oh, sweet. Yep,
It's so
that was it.
cool,
Ink
man.
Whiskey. There we go. So I'm gonna put the link in the chat so everybody can look at it.
Shout out to Josh Flanagan
I
because he's
know.
the one who kind of started that whole.
Just shout out to Josh Flanagan in general. That guy's
Yeah.
a fucking amazing individual.
He's a pretty cool dude, man.
He cracks
Oh my-
me up.
Oh my god, did you guys see that whole situation with like the guy who kept on like following Josh through the 10Ks?
Wait,
They
what?
crack me up.
For
'Cause it
people
wasn't-
who don't know, there's Josh Flanagan has been doing like running things like 5Ks and 10K. He just recently did a 10K. There's a picture of Josh at like they do photos at the end of the race, and there's a photo of Josh at the end of the 5K, and there's this old man that's like right in front of him running, and he goes and does the 10K. The same fucking old man is like right in front of him running.
So fucking great. It's so great. I'm gonna find the tweet where they actually put those pictures side by side so everybody can see this.
It was fucking amazing.
It was so funny. I felt so bad. He's like, God damn it.
God damn it, old man!
Like, I like the idea that he's saying now he's got to like train harder because he knows at the next race that guy's gonna beat him. And
He's gonna be there
picturing-
judging him.
I'm picturing him like at the finish line going up to this old dude and be like, yeah, what now? And like doing like all those like trash talk stuff and like he's all proud of himself and he walks away and the old guy's just like, what the fuck was that? Like,
What?
has
What?
no idea.
Watch this as like some like really weird like mystery science theater like plot line where it's actually like future Josh telling him like he's like stop being a sissy and run faster than me. Or something.
I just found Blaine's tweet where he put the pictures side by side.
Okay. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty
Nice.
nice.
Okay,
But
so
also-
he was
Pretty
he was
awesome.
behind him in the first picture.
Yeah, but apparently he did pass him before he got to the finish line.
Okay.
So yeah, he did actually beat him in both cases. So, but in Josh's defense, Josh is looking good. Good for him for kicking it into high gear, man.
Yes, but him, Blaine, and Meg Turney. Like, Meg Turney's been turning it up as well.
Yeah.
But, yeah, everybody's getting into the fitness season.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I
should we
still
talk-
actually my chest muscles still hurt from the push-ups of Sunday. I still haven't been able to go back to working out because like it feels fine until I try to apply any force and then they go nope, and it's just bad.
Yeah, those streams have actually been, like, very fun because for me, at least, because most of the time I just sit here and just, like, watch and I type in, say, what I think is a funny comment every now and then, but adding the push-ups just adds, like, a whole nother level of fun to me for some reason. At least it's gotten for me to have kind of, like, some kind of relation, like, how to say this?
It's
Like,
been a
has,
fun
like-
like bonding thing for everybody
there you
in the
go.
chat. Like, you know, shared pain. Misery loves company, whether you're drinking or you're doing the push-ups.
Yeah,
It's
like
Either
me and,
one.
Aaron, me and Aaron and me and Craig, or Ladderman, both have kind of bonded over this experience.
yeah. Shout out to Ladderman.
Yeah, you guys drink like fucking savages because of that drinking game. Like that, you guys like I got so fucking drunk. I had like 6 beers, and I'm like, oh, what's wrong with me?
Yeah.
2 of them were IPAs, by the way.
Oh god.
I was like, what's happening? Why?
Nothing's been as bad as like the first stream where we were testing the game. I think that's been the worst one so far. Because I think the count that night ended up being at like 86 drinks. By the end of that one, the rest of them have been hanging out around like between like the 40 to 60 range.
Yeah, around there. Yeah.
86 like shots.
No, God, no.
Drinks.
No, just like drinks, like the way you play another drinking game where you have whatever you're drinking, whether it's a beer or a mixed drink, and you do like you take a swig from it.
Depends on how you make mixed drinks, man. Some
Yeah.
people are assholes. It's not fun.
Oh yeah.
I remember I did something like that with Elon. Like during one of Elon's streams, he was drinking, and I was like kind of drinking along with him. I think I ended up having like 10 shots worth of. I had like half a bottle of bourbon that night, and that was one of the worst nights I've ever had with drinking, ever. So I need to really watch it whenever I do streams with you guys and drink.
Beware.
Beware, viewer, beware.
It's really funny how quickly Zach is just like drinking everywhere and then like not being used to this. So popping onto a stream where it's a regular thing like killed him immediately.
Gotta get that liver trained.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, fit for RTX for your liver, man. I'm still doing fit for RTX. It's just very organ specific.
Drunk for RTX.
Yeah, gotta get it ready, man. Because I'm going to the Bar Olympics again, and I was on the team that won. We gotta keep our title as the drunkest people.
When is that happening?
Bar Olympics is the Saturday night of RTX.
Yes. And
So I think right now, Friday night's the only night they take off because it's Thursday night is charity auction, Friday's a freebie day, Saturday is Bar Olympics, Sunday is the all access badge holder special event, and then Monday is the farewell lunch at the place with the food, Salt Lick. There we go.
yeah, the very good barbecue.
Yeah, it's pretty tasty.
I have a
like. Go ahead. Yeah.
I have a question. Are there still tickets left for SideQuest?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll be picking up my Bar Olympics at the very least. I'm not sure if I'll be doing everything else, but the Bar Olympics seems fun, so I'll do that.
I'm gonna
I
check.
believe there's,
Will
like,
you
30
survive,
something?
Zach? Though.
Oh,
I'm
most certainly. I've been preparing my liver
checking
the
right
last
now.
few weeks now. I'll spend maybe, like, I'm not drinking heavily. I'm just drinking casually. And I usually give my excuse. I'm like, oh, I'm tuning into Low Zelda's stream. No big deal. Okay, it's fine. But since now that I'm working out, I'm gonna have to cut down on drinking quite a significant amount because I've been working out the last 3 or 4 days, and when Jordan, or AKA Ninja Spectre, brought that up, he's like, yeah, it's bad for muscle growth. I'm like, oh yeah, it is, isn't it? Because I used to be such a fucking nerd about like health and shit. Now I'm not. It's like,
Yeah, it does some really serious damage to your testosterone levels. Like, it
Yeah,
knocks it down to like
yeah.
50% of normal levels.
precisely.
Yeah, so it's really bad for you. So if you're thinking
And it
about doing fit for
dehydrates
RTX,
you.
oh
Yeah.
god, yes, it's terrible. And yeah, if you're planning on doing working out, cut alcohol out. For one thing,
Yeah.
it's unnecessary calories.
Yeah, that
And
as
two-
well. Yeah.
Yeah, and two, it dehydrates you and it prevents muscle growth. So
Yeah.
this has been a public service.
You're welcome, internet.
Ding,
Zach
ding,
is the
ding.
ultimate nerd, says Nightsaw. Yeah, I try. I don't know. Yeah. I
No
guess.
defense. No
Yeah,
defense.
I have no defense. It's like that's a compliment. That's the biggest compliment ever for me.
So there are 30 tickets left for Bar
Nice.
Olympics.
Oh, it's I can probably
Yeah,
pick one.
17 all access. Still a lot for just the charity auction.
Yeah, I
30
don't-
for the Bar Olympics and 11 for the lunch.
Wasn't it
wanna
150 before?
Yeah.
What was that?
It was 150 like a couple days ago. Now
What
it's
was 150?
I thought it was
the
125
Oh, the charity
was
auction.
it was it 125?
for the whole all access, wasn't it?
Oh, all access was. Are you talking about the cost? Or are you talking about how many there were?
No, how many
The
there were
cost.
left?
Oh, left.
Oh,
Okay.
I was
God,
talking
you
about how many are left.
And that's where our confusion happened.
Because I think there was 150 tickets left the last time I checked, and now it's down to 120. So
Nice.
Yeah, so I mean, it's possible that those have started going. Yeah, all access badges. I think they started out with 200 of those. So it's really exciting to see how they've sold.
If you guys
so quickly.
plan on getting the RTX, or side quest stuff, wait until I buy mine first. Got to be nice to me. That's how this works.
But then after that, buy them immediately if you want.
Exactly.
If you want an all access badge or one to just the lunch, those are dangerously low. So
I do have
Shit.
another thing with the all access. Because are they going to do the challenge coin thing like they did last year?
I think that was just the thing last year. They said they're
okay.
working on a special thing for this year. I'm sure like if you show up with the challenge coin, you can challenge people. Because
Wait,
I
what
mean
are
that's the point of a
challenge-
challenge coin. But I don't think they're giving more this year.
Challenge coins are those things like they do it a lot in like the army and the navy where they have these like little coins that they give them, and basically where people would sit there and challenge them and say pull out your coins, and if they have them and whoever doesn't have it or is the last to pull it out has to buy the round for everyone.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
So people will do that for RT side quests as well, which that happened to me at Toronto Unconventional, where I lost mine and everyone knew it, so they pulled out their challenge coins, and I had to go buy like at least five or six drinks that night.
Well, a bunch of jerks.
Yeah, thanks, Darren and Red, assholes. But yeah, no, it's a fun concept. It's just hopefully
it's
you're
a fun
not
concept as long as you don't lose it.
Yeah,
as long as you're not on the losing end too often.
Now-
Like if you lose maybe once or twice, that's not too big of a deal. But
yeah,
if you're always on the losing end, you just better leave. Like
yeah. Just better leave before your wallet takes a toll.
yeah. Oh yeah, Nightsaw is gonna try to bring the 6 million Scoville hot sauce,
Yeah,
so that'll be interesting.
the hot sauce that's like gonna just destroy everyone immediately.
We'll probably make and McLovett's like, you guys should make a TFT Life, and we'll probably do something.
Yeah,
along those
like
lines.
we'll have to each do a little thing when we try the hot sauce, and that'll be really interesting.
Keanu recently, those who don't know who he's on Keanu on the website, but he goes by Kayvon D on Twitch, RT Kayvon D. He did that today where it was, I forget what Scoville, it was like in the millions.
Ugh.
But
Jeez.
he did that at the beginning of the stream, and it was hilarious because he was in absolute agony.
Oh, that really sounds frightening for what's gonna happen when we try it.
Man.
But
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me. I'll be procuring some language.
hi Zach, how's it going
Hi.
today?
Pretty good. English is not my friend. No, Carolina Reapers.
Oh,
2.5 million Scoville pepper. Currently the hottest pepper on Earth.
And Night Sauce hot sauce is 6 million.
Yeah, and just for a fun little fact, I've eaten 3 ghost chili peppers, and no, 2. Yeah, 2.
so Nightsalt, is that going to be like the acid blood from Alien, or from the Xenomorph from Alien?
It has to
Just
be,
where,
right?
Or do you just pour it and just like starts burning through the ground?
We better have like
It's
a
on a
half
30-second
gallon
delay,
of milk
so we'll
or
see.
something for everyone
Half
at
gallon.
least.
Well, I'm telling. I finished a whole gallon with just the ghost chili
Oh,
pepper.
jeez.
So I don't think that's gonna be enough for 6 people.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, look forward to that at RTX.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll get your gravestones ready. So
Yeah.
Appreciate
If you
that.
want to pre-approve your obituaries, just start that right now.
get your wills ready.
Alrighty. I think we can now at the wrapping up point of the podcast.
I
But-
think so.
Is there any leaving thoughts that anyone would happen to have? Leaving thoughts?
Any
This is the
announcements
first
of
time.
projects
I
and
think
stuff?
is this the first time both Jennifers have been together?
I think so. I
Yes.
mean, so we're taking over. So bye,
Oh no.
bye everybody. World domination, one Jennifer at a time.
There are lots of us, so it will happen.
We are
Be
prepared.
prepared.
We are many.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah. There's a couple projects I'm working on right now. I'm currently working with Raph, and we've got a Fit for RTX related thing that we're going to be doing. And
Do you want to pimp it or anything like that?
well, he's got the game right now, and he's working on it, and I don't want to say it because it's going to be kind of a surprise for the people who watch Shimmy Sham Games stream. So yeah, it's going to be awesome. Come check it out. And I believe we're going to be in for a world of hurt with this game.
Intriguing.
So we're doing kind of similar rules for Gen Stream, except there's only one rule. Just do it every time you die.
Oh.
And that's the only rule. Is do it when you die. But that's going to be enough damage for us.
Oh, I don't doubt it. Depending on which game you pick out, you could. We did that one time at a place, and it was pretty. Oh, I did it one time with some friends, and that was the worst.
And yeah, go ahead.
No, I was done. I apologize for that.
Oh, okay. But that and for anyone else who follows Jen, we have come on any of her streams, and she'll have the drinking game up, and we'll be doing that and push-ups along with it, or any other type of exercise that you wish to do.
Yeah.
Push-ups, sit-ups, lunges, squats, steps,
Water, I
whatever
guess,
floats-
if you're-
water. If you
Burpees.
just need to be hydrated. So yeah.
Excuse me? Herpes? Did you?
What?
I said burpees.
Oh, burps. I was like, excuse me, sir.
No, not
How is that
burps.
even
Like,
possible?
do you know what a burpee is?
What? Yeah, no.
Okay.
No.
I don't know how to describe it. I can only show people what it is. I don't know how I would possibly describe
on.
this without confusing myself. Just
Don't-
look it up. It'll be fine.
Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Everything will be fine.
Everything's fine. Everything's totally fine.
Take a drink.
Yep.
Alrighty, so we shall say goodbyes to the peoples for this
Yeah.
Bye,
podcast.
Mr. Peoples.
It has been a wonderful, lovely time. Can't wait for RTX.
Yeah,
It's
it's
been
gonna be great. 4 months. Yeah. If you need to get your fill of some TFT action, before the next podcast, you can find us on Twitter at the forum thread, and you can find us on YouTube, the forum thread, and TFT. What is it? TFT Productions and TFT Plays. Is that what we
Yep,
are
yep.
on there? And SoundCloud, and we're working on finally getting iTunes. We think we finally
Yeah, we
figured out our
finally
roadblock
found
there.
our thing. We are on Podcast Garden right now. We're up to
Okay.
podcast 30, but once we have all 100 on there, then we'll be able to just submit that to iTunes and be on
See,
iTunes.
there we go. So your prayers are about to be answered. I know a lot of you have been asking for that. So
Yeah.
that's the spiel. That's my half-hearted way of doing it. I'm sorry, Tejan. I know I let you down. But I think that's it. So good night, everybody.
Good
Night,
night.
everyone.